We are at that time of year again where there is much excitement for those who are lovers of football. For those of you who may know, on Friday night, St. Stanislaus got one step closer to the state championship. Next week they'll be playing at home against my cousins from up in Greene County for the South State Championship. Either my cousins or SSC will go on to go for the state championship. Also, we see right now that your Saints are 9-0 right now, and much hope is given from that maybe this will be the year. Maybe this will be the time that they will become the world champions. And every year, this opportunity comes along. Every year, there's a new chance, a new beginning, a new opportunity for a team to be the very best of the best. You just have to think back to April. April is the Cubs' favorite time of year. Everybody's at the same spot. Everybody has the same opportunity. Everybody can be a champion. The thing about these championships is they don't last. They're not forever. The past high Pirates, they're track champions and basketball champions of 2009 in Class 3A, but they can't even repeat because they're in 4A this year. It's different. It's a different thing in a different time, a different challenge. We have this all the time, and we have this even amongst the world and in kingdoms. We have in the book of Daniel, if you're able to look at the passage before our reading in chapter 7, it presents 4 beasts, which parallels Nebuchadnezzar's dream previously in the book, looking at 4 kingdoms that would rise and that would fall. The Babylonian Empire, if you lived during that time, you would think it will never fall, but it did. If you were there during the times of the Medes and the Persians, you would say it'll never fall, but it did. If you were there during the time of the Greeks taking over the whole world and Alexander taking over the world faster than anyone could imagine, you would think it would never fall, but it did. And if you were in the time of the Romans, in the time of the New Testament, you would think there is no way that this advanced society could ever fall, but it did. All these things rise and fall, but Daniel has a vision of something that lasts forever. As I looked, thrones were set in place, and the Ancient of Days took his seat. His clothing was white as snow. The hair of his head was white as wool. His throne was flaming with fire, and its wheels were all ablaze. A river of fire was flowing, coming out from before him. Thousands upon thousands attended him. 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The court was seated, and the books were opened. We still see here that this isn't just a king's room, this is a courtroom. The Ancient of Days is far beyond any kingdom of man. He is there to judge, and there's something that sets him apart from the other gods that they knew about in the Babylonian Empire. And here it is shown evidently right here. His throne was flaming with fire, and its wheels were all ablaze. God is not a God just for a particular people, in a particular time, in a particular place, in a particular language, in a particular culture. God is a God for all time. Demonstrated in here with the wheels on his throne, that he's not stuck someplace, but he's the God of the whole universe and can go anywhere. He is the God of the whole universe, and he can go anywhere. And he's shown to be in control as you look at verse 11 and 12. Then I continued to watch because of the boastful words the horn was speaking. I kept looking until the beast was slain and his body destroyed and thrown into the blazing fire. The other beasts had been stripped of their authority, but were allowed to live for a period of time. It wasn't a battle. It wasn't a collision. God judged, and it was settled. Now, even in that time when things are so certain, you do see the boastful words the horn was speaking. That even when things are seen and done, there's still going to be challenges. even though we know who wins, there are going to be people that challenge us, and there is going to be the spoken of person here, the horn, that will cause trouble. But our God reigns. And we see here, verse 13, in my vision at night I looked, and there before me was one like a son of man, coming with the clouds of heaven. He approached the Ancient of Days and was led into his presence. He was given authority, glory, and sovereign power. All peoples, nations, and men of every language worshiped him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion that will not pass away, and his kingdom is one that will never be destroyed. There before me was one like a son of man. This is the hoped for Messiah. This is the one that every time, the 90 times that Jesus refers to himself as the Son of Man, this is what the hearers thought of. This is what their minds snapped back to. Whenever you hear something, you get that picture, and for them, Son of Man said to them, here he comes with the clouds of heaven, approaching the Ancient of Days and led into his presence, given authority, glory, and sovereign power, and all peoples, nations, and men of every language worship him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion.